David Bahnsen is with me this morning, right? David, look, we're going to get to the markets in a moment. That's what you're here for, inflation and the jobs report and all the rest of it. But first, I want your thoughts on what I call the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
It was an assassination. I really appreciate what Molly just said about Charlie's faith. There are a lot of people that are willing to say something about their faith in public life. There's certain platitudes that people are comfortable, that are risk-free.
Yes.
I'm a born-again Christian. I take my faith very seriously. Charlie did not use platitudes. He shared a heart of faith. He took it seriously. He could defend it. He went in the public square. He talked politics. He talked about a vision of culture, but it came from his love of Jesus Christ, which was infectious. I very much appreciate his public testimony. Charlie and I had a lot of conversations over the years. He was an incredibly articulate person. I still remain just completely speechless about this tragedy.
Indeed. Thank you, David. Today's initial jobless claims, very strong. In other words, the labor market is in bad shape.
Yeah.
Inflation, relatively moderate at this point. Likely to get a 50 basis point cut from the Fed. But do you care about that?
Well, I think that what it's going to do by December matters, and we're getting close now to thinking it could be a full 1% lower by the end of the year. The futures are very high that it's going to be three quarters of a point, but there's now some chance of going 100 basis points by the end of the year. It's a 100% chance they're cutting next week, and I believe we're over 50% chance that they're going to end up cutting far more than people expect, and well into next year. You know, by the summer of next year, the futures are talking about 2.5% Fed funds rate. The inflation picture is not relevant to what the Fed's doing. Used cars are up because of tariffs. A lot of things are up because of tariffs. That has nothing to do with Fed monetary policy. The labor market's weakening. The Fed needs to cut.
But that means that is good news for stocks and good news for bond prices coming down.
I don't agree that it is good for stocks to have to be cutting rates because the economy is weakening. Okay. What's good for stocks is a strong economy and people having jobs. The labor market is weakening, my friend.
And if we get lower interest rates, around 4% on the 10-year Treasury, that implies growth for the housing market. Mortgage rates down.
That's the hope, and we need to see that come through. But the 10-year is staying right around 4%. It also is reflecting lower nominal GDP expectations.
Oracle yesterday signed another splashy deal, a $300 billion power deal with OpenAI.
David, you're impressed?
Yeah, let me say something about this.
Go on.
You know what else is investable in that thesis? The companies that have to provide the power, the data centers that have to go, get involved. There is an infrastructure story here that is not being talked about the way that just the people making the sort of plumbing are.
You got it right. Moving on. Why did D.A. Davidson upgrade NVIDIA?
The strength of the AI computing trend changed its view, so D.A. Davidson is going to a 210 price target, of course, upgrading them to a buy.
210 price target, it's 15%. So several years of growth for a 15% return. I don't know. If I just think it seems a little late to this party at 70 times earnings.
Okay. Another buy now, pay later app. That will be Klarna. They made their debut yesterday.
Yeah.
Great performance to start with. They did well, didn't they?
Well, they priced at 40 and now they're at 46. David, what's the matter?
Why are you so exasperated, Bahnsen?
The company lost $59 million last year, and the market cap was $17 billion. So I'll let you calculate the negative 350 times PE ratio. Look, the company could very well end up performing well, but to your point, Lauren, it was a lot of hype 5 years ago. It hasn't delivered. Now it comes into public markets, and it feels like a wealth transfer to me of other people now buying it. A lot of risk going forward, and the buy now, pay later thing scares me for consumers. Let's buy things we can afford to buy.
Open Door is online real estate, online housing. Sometimes they make an offer to buy a property outright. It's a stock that's up 270% this year, not including today's 34% gain.
So it was at $2?
Yeah, I guess. I know. I just looked at the level.
Restrain yourself, David.
No, look, I got to be fair to Klarna. The Open Door lost $162 million last year. Klarna only lost $59 million.
Do you have anything positive to say?
I have all kinds of positive things to say. We're talking about two companies they said something negative about.
Actually, you're on form.
There's 500 companies in the S&P 500.
You're on form today. You're doing well.
Okay. I just woken up as the market awoken. Now I'm ready to really get into this.
Here we go. You've got a couple of your famous dividend picks with you.
Speaking of companies that make make money, Warren.
Yeah, right. You're back to Kenvue.
I am. We've stayed in Kenvue, and this thing got hammered on Friday on this absolutely preposterous report that Tylenol in pregnant women is this big risk. That we have not seen the report. There's rumors of the report coming from HHS. So anything that gives a good company with good cash flows and a 4.7% dividend yield, 10% lower entry price, we like. So we would just think Kenvue is a wonderful consumer brand company.
It pays over 4%?
Oh, almost 4.75.
Oh, I'll take that. United Health, you're back to that.
Well, and we're back. We just entered it a few weeks ago, and so the stock we're up about $40 since we bought it. The stock is still down about 50% from its high, but you know, Stuart, they've grown the dividend every year for 20 years in a row through financial crisis, through Obamacare, through COVID, all of these bad things they've gone through. We think it's resilient, and as you know, Buffett and Berkshire apparently agree.
David, right after 9/11, 24 years ago, the nation briefly came together. It didn't last, but briefly we were unified. Yeah. What about after the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Any chance that we can come together, even briefly?
It's funny, we were talking about the Yankee event last night and them honoring Charlie Kirk, and I thought about that thing with President Bush 24 years ago, and it felt like this peak of national unity in the disaster. No, look, I'm not optimistic that we will come together. I think a lot has changed that has fragmented the country, fractured the country. We saw after COVID, we didn't come together. We really grew much further apart. But we need to. We need to come together, and we need to do it through the types of things Charlie did, which were open discussion, debate, and we have to do it civilly and charitably and not make everything one side versus another side.
Free speech, open debate is unifying.
Yes, it is.
David, thank you very much for being here for the hour. We appreciate that.